This Levi Ruth, the Dragon Slayer, suited for you. Big respect.
Yeah, working and like got some stuff going on in LA. So
Okay.
5:30 here is 9 a.m. there.
What, 5:30 p.m.?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what
like-
time are you starting? 5:30.
Well, I started like prep in the morning, and then people just start replying at
Okay.
5:30. So it kind of like it's like
So technically,
24
this is
hours.
like their midday
yeah.
or like their lunchtime.
Yeah,
Right, okay.
yeah.
Well, to be fair, that's better than you like having to start at 5:30 p.m.
Yeah, I had a chilled morning, but there's like always stuff to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So do your hours change?
My hours change, yeah.
Depending on like them.
Depending on, so like at the moment we've got 3 shoots in LA.
Okay.
But they only had budget for 1 stylist to go. So like
so that's
there's
just
2
you.
of us. No, she's out there.
Oh right,
And there's
right.
2 of
Yeah,
us like working from here.
Right. Okay.
And then like when she comes back, it's like UK hours, but the days like I couldn't even tell you what I'm doing on Friday basically.
What I really
It's
like
like
is
all
just
so last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
fair play. Who's it for? Would I know him?
So Raf Law, and then
I don't know who that is.
Jude Law's son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jude's a nice name, though. So
Yeah.
there you go.
And then this influencer Sab something, and then there's another guy Mike Towers. I think
Okay.
he's like, what's the like Spanish music? It's called no, neither because I don't.
Yeah, right. But we'll just pretend we both know.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair play. No, Jude Law's son sounds big, though. Are you allowed to tell me this? Or is this like...
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Alright, perfect. If not, you didn't tell me
No,
anyway.
no, I think it's. I'm probably more allowed to tell you about the project than like who we're shooting.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Was it exciting?
Yeah, it's cool. So Gaffer magazine is doing like 100 influential artists, actors, like influencers.
So then
Series.
people you just named, are they all like,
Yeah, they're
actors?
part of it.
Okay.
So Jude, not Jude, his son,
Jude's son,
Raph, is an actor, but because he's Jude Law's son, kind of like got his fingers in like all of other little bits like poetry, writing, music, and everything. But I think his main thing is acting.
Right.
And then the other girl, she's an influencer, just like social media and stuff. And then Mike Towers is an artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to, as I said, I had a friend who mainly wanted to come on, because until then, I can't lie, I hadn't thought of it.
Yeah.
But, so my brother does, you know what I'm actually going to say, because he does stuff at somewhere in London. I can't lie, I don't actually ask him too much questions. I probably should be a bit more interested. He does stuff at EYC.
Okay.
Do you know
Yeah,
what
yeah,
that
I
is?
know.
You actually do know what that is?
Yeah, it's
fair.
the agency, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got a couple friends that are signed with them.
Oh,
as
okay.
well.
Yeah, so he does stuff with them.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, what's more intriguing to me is like, so obviously with me, I do sales, right? And what makes me, like, for example, with a footballer, you're a good footballer if you have like people are known for like, but someone's known for skill, someone's known for being quick, someone's known for whatever. With me in sales, it'd be like someone's known for being able to like have a really good like connection with sense of humor and stuff like that. In stylists, like what makes, like I'm sure you know like these famous stylists. Why are they famous? Like, what is it their particular thing?
So there's a lot of things that makes
Yeah.
a good stylist. Like, I think the most important thing that isn't obvious to like everyone else is your organization is like the
Really?
most key thing ever, because you could be doing like 3 different shoots in 1 week, and then you've got to like, how much do you know about the process?
Me?
Yeah. styling.
Literally
Yeah,
like
so-
nothing. So real quick, do you want to just move the mic just so it's a bit closer? Yeah,
Like
that's
that?
fine. That's fine.
Okay. So start off with like getting the brief, making the mood board, chatting to management. Are they happy with it? And then you're sending off emails to PRs, like independent small brands, big brands, like as many as you can
So
find.
is that like cold calling? Like, are you not contacted these brands before and you're just sending out an email?
Well, like obviously when you start, yeah, it's like you
Yeah.
don't have these connections, but as the more work you take on, the more brands you make connections
they
with and
start
stuff. They start
connecting you and
knowing your name, knowing like the people you work with, the magazines you work with, and then so there's a lot to do with like brand relationship, But then there's a lot to do with who you're styling.
Okay.
Like the followers, if they don't have, I styled someone who didn't have Instagram. The
Wow. Didn't have
I
wow.
know basically she was.
I know like 90-year-old woman who have Instagram.
I know she was a singer in the 90s and she was planning a comeback,
Right,
but
okay.
she didn't have like the socials for it.
Yeah.
And the record label also didn't have Instagram. And so I basically had to use my relationship with the brands and kind of beg them and be like, please. A lot of them
give it a
said
chance.
no. Yeah. Because obviously the PR's job is to promote the brands with like the right talent, the people that they want, the brands want to see their clothes on.
Yeah.
Get it out there. Like if you don't have followers.
Yeah.
And
Who's actually getting out there
exactly.
too? Yeah.
So what was the original question?
Sorry, really quick. What Tims are they?
I don't know. They're literally so old.
I've never seen that colorway ever.
There's
Is
actually
it a collab or is it just a normal?
no, it's not a collab. There's a bit of a mad story behind those.
Okay, go on, get into it.
Okay, basically, my childhood house, my home.
Was that in? Did you grow up in London?
I grew up in. Do you know Walton? It's like just outside of London. No. It's like near Kingston.
Well, like southeast, no, southwest.
Yeah. So, my family rented our house out.
Yeah.
Like when I went to uni, my dad lives in Egypt now. And the guys that rented the house were drug dealers.
Right.
So they got arrested.
Okay.
Basically, all their stuff was like surrendered over to be ours because they didn't pay the rent because he got arrested.
Right, okay, but it's still like property of the house.
Yeah, so everything in the house is ours, and he was a really small guy, so he was like
So
my
everything,
height,
like, fitted you.
size feet, 5, and these are his.
What? How long ago was that?
Maybe like 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
I
And you
know.
still rock them to this day?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't even remember what shoes I was wearing 6 years ago.
Yeah. So funny, like
Probably just AstroTurfs. I can't lie.
I had a party there, like New Year's party, and afterwards my dad was like, there's something wrong with the sewage system, and I was like, that wasn't me, I swear. And then they went into the sewage system and they're still finding like bricks of,
Swear.
yeah.
What to this day?
Yeah, that was this New Year's. Yeah,
Whoa.
I know.
So how do you like? Surely you think the police would have done that, like when they've arrested them in
I know.
the house?
Yeah, they seized like all the Rolexes and like the proper stuff, but then they left everything else.
Like Timberlands and stuff.
The Timberlands, yeah.
Imagine if they left the Rolex.
Yeah, I guess they just forgot to check the sewage system.
Yeah, spoilers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair. Right.
So they're not really mine, but
Well, they
they
are
are
now.
now.
Finders
Yeah.
keepers. Isn't it? Yeah. Fair play. Right. Okay. So obviously you got the Canada thing going on. Yeah, that must be long, man. With the
it's so
timings.
long.
One of my friends, close friends, he does calls with people in, I think America.
Yeah.
But his is the same. His hours are mad weird.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
obviously, so he's like home call center.
Yeah.
And when the times that he's working, like I'll call him sometimes at like 2 a.m. And he'll be like, sorry, but I'm literally in the middle of work. I'll be like, oh yeah, like,
Yeah,
I remember.
Yeah.
But apart from the Canada stuff going on,
It's LA, by the way, just in case.
oh,
Yeah,
you're,
yeah.
oh really?
Yeah, LA is where.
Right,
we're
okay,
working
it's
from.
because I was thinking that's where he works,
Yeah, yeah.
Canada. Right, okay. Right, all right. So with the apart from the LA stuff,
Yeah.
that makes more sense
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Right, apart from that, over the last like 12 months, or in anything planned for the next 12 months, what's like some big standout things you got going on?
So this Gaffer 100 project started in like May. That's definitely the like busiest thing going on for me right now because they want to do 100 people by September.
Okay, how long does it take to do that up at one person?
Like, okay, so one person, it's about 4 looks, 4 outfits each.
Okay.
You can do that in a morning, but the prep for it would take like, it's nice to have 3 days. Sometimes you get like 2 days.
Right.
And then you have to sort all the returns afterwards as well. So like,
Oh, do they not keep everything?
no. You're just borrowing the clothes and giving them back. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Is that how it always works?
Yeah, I mean, like some brands can be like, we'll gift this to the artist because we
Yeah.
really like them and we want them to wear it all the time.
Yeah.
But it's mainly like
Wow.
borrowing, returning stuff, which is really
See,
good.
this is what I mean, man. Like,
Yeah.
you would never know that unless you spoke to someone in the industry.
Yeah.
Like, I would always just think they just
Yeah.
have like a massive.
Even if you buy stuff, you return it because that comes out of, well, in my experience, it comes out of the stylist pocket because who I'm working with at my level, there's not much budget going on.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's a lot
Okay.
of buying and returning when you start out for sure.
Mhm.
And then the more contacts you build, relationships and stuff, people will just loan it.
So what about? I'm guessing that's for like photos, right?
Mm.
If it's like runway stuff, surely you
Yeah.
can't return it then because it's like.
Yeah, so runway stuff, like for Fashion Week, a brand would bring you on to style their collection.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense. Yeah.
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 And then like it's the same music videos, people aren't that keen to loan because you don't get like credits
Mhm.
of all the brands in a music video, but
Yeah.
like with a shoot, there'll be a page
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
says
Yeah.
shoes from blah
Da,
blah
da,
blah,
da,
top
da,
from
yeah.
yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, there's a lot of like politics
Yeah,
behind it.
that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
This is why, like, I'm glad people say, because sometimes I put on my story every Monday, like, what was it? It was like, I think one of them actually was fashion. It's just reminded me of something as well. Oh, it's not loading. It was something. Basically, every Monday, I put something that's like, if anyone knows, and then I just have like a list of like 5 random things.
Okay.
I think one of them was stylist, and that's why I come up, or something to do with fashion. And it's literally, and I just think of like the 5 most random stuff because there's certain stuff like, obviously, I'm not gonna sit there and just Google random things.
Yeah.
But there's certain stuff that's actually really interesting that you wouldn't find out.
Yeah.
Like that sort of stuff. I'm like you see. So I mean, I saw like Central C was at Burberry Fashion Week, and he had like 5 different Burberry outfits, and I was thinking,
Yeah.
like, I know I'm never gonna see him in that again, and now he's just got like 10 grand at least
Yeah.
worth of Burberry stuff.
Yeah, so with stuff like that, with a big show like Burberry, they'll have their own stylist team that will dress the VIPs that sit front row.
Okay.
But yeah, I think like most of it will go back. Maybe they can keep, if it's custom, they probably paid for it and they'll keep it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but brands have samples that just go out and come back and go out and come back.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Would never thought it.
Yeah.
So what does your days look like at the moment?
At the moment,
Obviously,
well,
you said it's mad at the
yeah,
moment,
yeah.
but like on like an average day in your life,
Yeah.
what does it look like?
So, okay, in a week, I'd plan for one day driving around picking stuff up. That can be like in North London, Croydon.
Really?
One time I went to like, I can't remember where, but it was a 2-hour drive away. I've been to like Harrow.
I thought you was just gonna say like Oxford Street.
No.
Like what? So why? What? Like what? Do you mean clothes? I'm guessing you mean clothes, right?
Yeah.
Like what would you pick up from North London clothing?
So a lot of like some PRs are in North London. A lot of them are in Central. And I plan my days because I don't want to pay congestion charge too many times a week.
Yeah, true.
But a lot of like the smaller designers, they just, they're at home and they'll pass you over the clothes that they make because they have other jobs or whatever. So a lot of the
it's not
time,
all just like big named brands.
Yeah. And personally, I actually prefer I really like using smaller brands because that's where a lot of the creativity is, and you see like mad, outfits and accessories and stuff.
Yeah. Like experimental stuff.
Yeah. So, a lot of like fashion students from Central St. Martin's and Westminster and stuff, they have really cool stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're the ones that generally live like a bit further out.
Right.
And that's why having a car is so key.
Detrimental, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I was gonna say when you said you drove it, I was like, I'd never hear of anyone driving. Like I've got a license, I'm not gonna drive.
Yeah. Before I started styling, I hadn't driven in since I was 18 and I'm 26 now. So
okay, yeah.
I had a long break.
I get it 100%. Like driving in London's a myth because it's not even people be like all the charges, and the charges is one thing, but then it's like you can't drive in a bus lane for a second without getting caught. And like that's not just like no one really does it on purpose. But
I've
if you
had
think it's easy,
so many fines.
that's what I mean. Like you can't even realize you're in the bus lane
Yeah.
because there's so many cars you can't see like the thicker white line.
Yeah.
And then the parking, like you think you're good and then you're not.
Yeah.
Like-
I think like if you want to go into styling, you need a car, but you also need a car park where you live.
Mm-hmm.
And you need a concierge as
Yeah,
well
yeah.
because you're going to be receiving a lot of packages, but you might need to like run out and get something from, I don't know, Oxford Street or whatever. So you need someone to be receiving deliveries.
Yeah.
Like the number of times I've got a concierge, but they get a bit funny.
Yeah.
The number of times I've had to like ask my housemate, "Are you working from home today?
It's gonna
Please."
sound so bad. I have no idea what concierge is.
It's like, so in a apartment block,
Yeah.
it's just like someone who sits at the entrance and will take the packages and let people in and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Like receptionist or
Yeah,
but
yeah,
just
yeah.
for packages.
Just for the whole building.
Oh,
So yeah,
right.
receptionist.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So those three things I think I like.
Okay. That's a good question, I never asked that. Like if you wanted to be whatever, what are like the main things you need? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
When did you start styling?
So I properly started just over a year ago, but before that I was traveling, and before that is when I decided to start styling. So I think
Okay.
the idea came like 2.5 years ago. I was actually a scientist before, so
Really?
yeah.
Wow. That's like you never actually hear
Yeah, I
about people
know.
being.
Yeah.
What sort of science?
So I was doing cancer drug discovery,
Okay.
but like I had a bit of like a journey deciding what I wanted to do. I studied biomed
Right. Okay. What in uni
at
or
uni,
something? Okay.
and then I did a master's in forensic science.
Wow.
Yeah, but then that's when I realized I don't want to do that because like it's shift work, it's low pay. I was just like, it's not for me.
That's insane, man. Like people normally stylists is so. It's such like the best type of jobs are the ones that are like hobbies, right? Like if like people, if I could do podcast as a job, I would 100%.
Yeah.
Like I love talking to people, I love whatever.
Yeah.
So the best type of jobs, that's why like everyone wants to be a footballer, right? Because it's like football's fun and I can
Yeah.
get paid however much for doing it.
Yeah.
So and because of that, it's so much easier when you're 17 to be like, I'm just gonna play football and have football as my job. I'm just gonna style designer clothes and these new clothes and just make people look cool in different clothes and have that
Yeah.
as my job.
Yeah.
That normally like the older you get, the more people end up falling out of love with it and then having to get just like a normal 9 to 5.
Yeah,
And you've done it like the complete other way around.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know. I think just when I was growing up, I genuinely believed I wanted to be a scientist. And I was like, I loved learning about it at uni. It was a passion. But when I got to working in a lab, I was like, I can't do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So then I was like,
What's the money like, out of curiosity?
for science.
Yeah.
Entry level was like, with a master's was 32K.
Well, okay, so
Yeah, it's
yeah,
all right.
that's fair.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not bad. And yeah, so then that's when I was like, what do I like doing and how can I make money out of it? And like, I always just loved putting outfits together. Like I had an ex-boyfriend who one time was like, you do realize you don't have to look good every time we go out.
Yeah,
and
know.
I was like,
I feel the same way.
why?
I know.
Why not?
Yeah, he's a hater. People like you. I don't know. For me, but then there's somewhat. I'd say like 1 in every 10 times, I actually just don't care and I'll put on whatever. Like I've got these like Nike dry fit shorts, and they're like my go-to, and they've got like paint stains on. If I'm going to chuck a pizza in the oven, whatever. But then sometimes if I'm going to chuck a pizza in the oven, I'm like, nah, this doesn't match. Like, for me, I don't know. Like my Instagram is literally every photo is matching, and I don't know, man. Like even I was out with my friend Sunday, and we was like, she got this matcha tea. Is it matcha tea or like
The
matcha?
green one.
Yeah. And I was like, we could walk, and I was like, or we could go on a line back and you can get a picture with the tea in the back because it matches. And she was just like, come on, man. I was like,
this is the thing. Like, I think I'm quite like spiritual, right?
yeah.
So I personally believe that this society is suppressing the creativity in everyone. And I used to think like, oh, I'm not creative. It's just not in me, blah, blah, blah. But when you actually tap into it, like every human being is a creative
Yeah.
being. So yeah, I think like it's nice to tap into that. And I also think with styling and stuff, it's so nice because it just depends on your mood, what you do with it that
Yeah, yeah,
day.
yeah.
Like I wake up and I'm like, oh, I feel like I want to wear this, and that's how I'm presenting myself today. That's like for me, that's my expression of like
Yeah, that's true.
who I am and
Sometimes
stuff.
you want to be like wrapped up.
Yeah,
Like
sometimes I
all
want to be like black
yeah,
everything,
yeah,
like
yeah.
fuck everyone kind of
yeah,
vibes.
yeah.
But not today.
Sunglasses, everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's true, man. And there's a sense of like I said this. I had one of my again a close friend on, and I said to him, we are talking about like everyone talks about being happy all the time, but I think there's some feelings that are like just as good as happy, but like also completely different in the sense that like when you just piece together like the best outfit. I'm sure there's some outfits you remember where you're like that was like top work. You know what I mean? So with that, like that feeling of like a bit like you know when people have mad OCD and then they finally like let's say they have to put all their books straight and their books are a tiny bit crooked then they've just straightened them
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they feel like
It
complete
feels good.
and when
Yeah.
you've just put together that outfit and like
Yeah.
me when I make like the colors match on photos and stuff like that feeling of like complete that's like one of the best feelings. I know what you mean. That feels like we're doing what we're meant to be doing.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah. And like it's especially like I definitely am still working on when I'm having a shit day, like I'm not getting many responses or I'm feeling stressed because I've not got many like outfit plans and stuff for work. I'm like, oh, like everything's shit. But when it actually comes together, it's like the best feeling
that's
ever.
what I mean. It's I suppose with you, like you're pretty much on commission, right? Like there's no like I mean, I'm guessing like you pay yourself per hour and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But with you, like it's different to normal. Like if you go get a job in Tesco, you could have the best deal of the shit that you're getting paid the same.
Yeah,
But with
yeah.
you, like you know, like if people don't reply,
Yeah.
and it's like with me, I mean I do sales and
Yeah.
we're doing door to door. If I get like 20 no's in a row, I'm like, fuck, man. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
I need to get a yes soon. Otherwise, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Someone's got to pay rent.
yeah.
So with that, like, it's so easy. That's why it feels so good, though. Because again, like, you can work at Tesco knowing that every single month, okay, cool, you're going to guarantee rent. But you're never going to have a day where it's like, wow,
Yeah.
I've done really well today.
And if
'Cause-
you show up and you're not in the best mood or your work's not the best it can be, then they're not going to want to work with you again.
100%.
So, yeah, another piece of advice I would say is like, even if you want to have a go at someone, do it professionally.
Yeah.
Because word will spread if you're like losing your shit and stuff and if you're not nice to work with. So, for sure, have boundaries and say, like, this is not how I work. I don't want to work with you anymore, but do it professionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think... Yeah, I suppose if it don't paint the best image, does it? If you're known
Yeah,
as the
because
best
also
loser,
the
right?
industry is like,
Has that happened before? Is that what you're saying?
well, I haven't like done it not professionally. I've
Yeah,
not
yeah.
lost my shit or anything, but you know, people do talk, and I think it's really important to like put your ego aside in those situations. And I have been in a situation where I've had to say like, I'm not comfortable with the way you're trying to work with me, and that's my boundary, and that's that kind of thing. Because if you don't do that, people will walk all over you in the fashion industry, like guaranteed.
Yeah, it's like dog eat dog, I suppose,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
So yeah, you've just got to put those boundaries down and stick with it.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Right. I did get some questions about styling, which some of them are actually really good. So I'm intrigued to see
Yeah.
the answers. So yeah, there's basic ones like what inspired you to become I suppose that's a good question because there was a time you said, so what was you with 24 when you decided you wanted to be a stylist?
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
24.
yeah.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
was there like a turning point or was it like a lot of
So-
consideration?
I think like the thing that really started it was just as COVID started, I made a new group of friends, and they were all super creative, like DJs, graphic designers, like everyone I'd been friends with before. It was like, you know, a bit more academic at
Yeah.
uni, English lit, students and all of that stuff, and
Right,
that's
okay.
that's amazing. Like, I think that's great, but I'd never been exposed to like really creative people, and that got me thinking. In like my career, in my science career, I was like, I don't feel like this is matching up with me anymore.
Yeah.
So
Grow out of it.
yeah, I grew out of it. It was also like I said before, loved learning about it, but in the actual science industry, like in a lab, you're not learning, you're like doing the same experiment every day, changing like the volume by zero point 0.1 milliliters or something and seeing if the results change, and that was just like draining, like life draining.
Yeah.
So that got me thinking, and then after a bit I was just quite unhappy in my job, and I was waiting it out. I was like, maybe it will get better, and and it didn't. And I wanted to go traveling anyway, because I was meant to go, then COVID hit, so I delayed it. And then it was actually my sister that was like, well, why don't you just do styling? You know, you love doing that as a hobby. Why don't you just make that your thing? And I was like, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
I literally never
Scary
even
though,
thought
innit?
of that.
It is scary.
So scary, yeah. Because I didn't know anyone who was doing it. So it was kind of like navigating that on my own. Luckily, one of my friends from school actually mentioned there was a girl at my school, and she had been styling for like 4 years. That's Cara Hayward. So
Right. Shout out,
yeah. Literally,
Yeah.
like I owe a lot to her. Like, she's taught me so much. I just messaged her and I was like, can we have a chat? Got some tips. If you ever need any help. And that's another tip from me, is don't be afraid to ask for help, because some people will say no, but some people will say yes, and it could literally change everything. And she just like brought me onto her Fashion Week show. She brought me onto like music videos, and that's actually who I work with now,
Okay.
the most. So it's me, Cara, and Janelle. We're like a little team, and
trio.
Cara's like the head stylist.
Okay. Is she the one in
She's in LA,
Okay.
yeah. And then she's also so great because a lot of people don't pay you when you're like assisting them and stuff. She's always making sure like everyone's happy, everyone's paid and everything. But
What a good friend, man.
I know, she's so great.
Yeah.
And other than that, there's like little bits on the side. I also work with a magazine called Streets Magazine, but that's kind of like, they paused during COVID, so they're kind of like relaunching. So it's kind of like getting
Slow
going
process,
at the moment.
yeah.
And then just like random bits here and there.
Yeah.
So that's
Scary
how it all
though, because
happened.
it's like the thing is, right, like doing a job in your hobby that relies on your performance is like the best thing and the worst thing, because it's the best thing because you enjoy every day of work, right? Even if you have a shit day, like a shit day doing your hobby is a lot better than a shit day doing something that you don't enjoy at all. But with that, like, there's always the fear of like, you could wake up tomorrow and just be out of ideas, but you've just got to like persist through that, because realistically, like, it's not really possible. You know what I mean? Because that could have happened at any point during the however many years you've done it, and it hasn't. And it's the same with this. Like with the podcast, I could just have no one that wants to come on from now.
Yeah.
But it's that risk that ends up having the bigger reward. And it's like with sales as well. Like, that's the only thing I can really relate it back to, because it's what I've done all my life. But with that, like, I mean, I've had multiple businesses, and starting them I'm fine with, because I just get too overexcited. And I'm just like, let's start it now.
Yeah.
But then it gets to a point where you've actually got to be like, wow, like, it's going well at the moment. Like, I had my own drink company. And at the start, obviously, it's booming, whatever. Everyone's buying balls, everyone's shouting it out. The same with the podcast, but then it's like they're only buying the bottles because it's Jude's drink. But then what about when it gets to the point where it's like, oh yeah, we tried Jude's drink. Do you know what I mean? But that risk is like, you've got to do it because it pays off. And it's the people get too scared, and then or they have 1-2 bad days and leave. But it's actually the ones that persist with it that end up.
Yeah, and I think like you also need to just trust in the fact that consumerism is the biggest thing in this world. And there will be more people. There will be more people that want to try a drink or need styling. And also with the creativity thing, like the brief is always changing, even if it's with the same magazine, or the same record label or whatever. The talent or whoever you're shooting or the brief is always changing. So you can hit a wall, but it's always like a bit. There's always something fresh to work with.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you have them thoughts. Everyone has them thoughts.
Yeah.
But it's like, you just got to be realistic. Like, come on, man. Like, you wouldn't have even been doing it for 2 years if you weren't the type
Yeah.
of person that can just do it for 20.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And I think
yeah.
like also one of the risks is not having work because you're relying on other people to come to you
Yeah.
and ask you to do something. But I have definitely found that like I've not really had days off.
Yeah.
Like I've been thinking to myself at some points like, oh, I really hope I don't, work doesn't slow down or I have something next week, and every single time there's always something to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it just plays out, doesn't it? It just, what's going to happen to happen. Wait, you said you went traveling. Where did you go traveling?
I went to Central America. So I started in Panama and I went all the way up to Mexico.
Okay.
And then I went over to the Caribbean for a bit, and then I did Brazil for Carnival.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
So all like the mad countries. I thought you were
Yeah.
just gonna say like France, Italy.
No.
Like, fair play.
Yeah, it was an exploration. Yeah.
Right. What are your favorite? What are your favorite fashion brands or designers?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. That must be a mad question for a stylist.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll keep it like quite short and sweet. For me, there's two designers, but not like because of their designs in general. There's two like what's it called, like seasons and lines and stuff that I just like love, and I think I always will love is the Dior Rasta collection. That's
Okay.
like they were like brown
Let me see.
and they had like green, yellow and red stripes, and it was just like really sick. And then another one was like the Prada Sports. I think it was 2006. Everything that they made there, I was just like in love with that. So those are like the older kind of collections that those two I love. But yeah, I can't really like pick
What about
out
your number one brand?
number one brand. Oh my god, you're putting me on the spot.
Yeah, I know. This is for a stylist. This must be like such a crazy question.
Um,
Trying to find this.
just Dior Rasta collection. You're gonna give me a couple seconds to think then.
Oh yeah, that is cold. Yeah, the bags and stuff.
Yeah, like those colors and
I think I've seen this. Yeah, on Instagram.
yeah, and like a lot of the like R&B artists and stuff at the time. It must have been in the like noughties. They were all wearing it, and it was just so sick. Like such a sick vibe. So yeah. Honestly, I don't know what my number one brand is because it depends. Like for me personally, I kind of prefer the smaller brands, and like I wouldn't stick to like just random brands like this. I found this in Japan.
What is them?
Literally on the side of the road in Japan, like on a little shop.
Really?
For me, those things are better than the big kind of brands because
Yeah.
they're a bit more like individual.
There's a brand called I went to the pop-up Sunday.
Mm.
Do you like streetwear?
Yeah.
AELIZA. Eliza.
Okay. Yeah.
They are awesome, and they're the pop-up. And the thing that's different about them, they just seem like they take a lot of time with their stuff. Because it's like a streetwear, but the quality and the time that they look like they take isn't like a streetwear.
Yeah, so is it like all kind of one of one stuff?
No, but it looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And that's exactly what I said Sunday. I
Yeah.
said every piece looks like it was like handmade.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So mine, I reckon, would be that one. Or
Yeah, that's cool.
there's a Korean one called Fug Club. Have you heard of it?
No.
You've never heard of
But
it?
all the like Asian brands, Korean, Japan, Japanese, like they are so sick, and it's so annoying
me.
because you want to get them over here to put them on your clients, but the shipping's going to be like
Yeah.
50
with
quid and
them,
it's going
it
to
is
take like
mad.
5 days.
Yeah.
So
But they're cool. They have, this is proper like fashion week stuff. They've done collabs with like I want to say Fendi. I'm 99% sure it's Fendi. But they have their brand is like a T and a C. Like
Oh, sick.
and their brand's like a T and a C, their logo, but they have it like metal on the clothes.
Yeah, that's sick.
If you go back and then look at their actual clothes, but they do like they're sick.
yeah,
They do
I love
like they've
that.
got like these they've got like their they put their logo on cars and there's some mad stuff.
Yeah.
Which
I've got a brand actually in my head, and I think like not just the clothes, but the way that their like Fashion Week show was presented was the Kid Super show. I don't know if you saw it.
no,
So sick.
put me on.
So he's like, I think he's been designing for years, and everyone was he was getting a lot of hate for his stuff, and recently he's really like done bits for himself, and his fashion week show was like the models were like as if they were puppets, so they all had strings coming off.
Wow.
And they were like all walked down like that, and it was so sick.
Yeah.
Generally like that stuff where it's not just the clothes, the whole concept is like thought out really well.
So was the clothes like puppet based as well?
I don't know, do you want to look it up? They're like more colourful.
How do you spell it, sorry?
Kid Super, KIDSUPER.
3 followers. I don't think I'm looking.
Yeah, I think you're on the wrong one.
KID.
Yeah.
SUPER.
SUPER.
Oh yeah, I spelled it wrong.
Yeah.
Which one?
So that's him, and he does like loads of collabs with other people. Do you mind if I go on Safari and
No, that's fine.
I'll show you the runway stuff.
I should have got more than one Red Bull. I hate Red Bull, but I've been up since like
I
half
don't
6.
drink that stuff.
I know I need to stop, but I've been up since 6:30 and
Yeah.
it's rough.
Good Super runway. Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just a cool
Oh,
concept.
right, that's actually
yeah.
quite scary, isn't it? What? They are mad.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, fair. Yeah, that
But
is
like
tough.
generally it's more street stuff. I think that was just a bit more.
Oh, wait, you like you're proper into streetwear?
Yeah, more than like high fashion.
Yeah.
One of the magazine I work with, Streets magazine, is more high fashion, and I do like it and everything.
Yeah.
But my style is more like
Streetwear.
Street. Yeah, I'm not so into like
What about streetwear brands then? Are they mainly like London based?
the ones we use and stuff.
Or like the ones you like?
Yeah, but personally, the aesthetic I like most is like the Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, apart from that Fug Club, which is
Yeah.
Korean, I ain't even looked too much into it. I only know them because you know Clint, who made Cortez.
Yeah.
He was like friends with them and stuff like
Yeah.
that. To be honest, he's put me onto a lot of bands. There's one Australian one called Fat Judah.
Really.
PHATJUDHA.
Okay.
JUDAH. And they're cold as well.
Mm.
I don't know, man. I think the thing is, you have a brand like Cortez come in, and then it just sets a whole load of like ideas that then a whole load of other brands just recreate. So then when you see a brand just come in and just switch it up,
Yeah.
even if it's like, I don't even know if I actually think it's nice or whether I just think it's different and that's nice.
Yeah, I saw this article about Off-White. How like years ago when he first started it, when like it was kind of gaining traction and everything, someone said that was him, Virgil, like making streetwear more available to, like, I don't know if I'm saying it right. Basically, he made it easier for streetwear brands to become more popular.
Yeah.
Because like Off-White's meant to be like a luxury,
Supreme.
Yeah. And after that, when COVID hit, all of these people started getting ideas of, you know what, I can do streetwear and I can make it like high end. and now that's what's like
That'd be
trending.
cool. I wonder someone should set up like a runway type events, like a fashion week, but just for streetwear brands. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would
Like
be cool.
Supremes. I mean, just brands like Stussy don't do that, do they? Like run walks.
No, I think they do like events, like
Yeah.
parties and stuff.
Yeah.
But not like not Fashion Week. You wouldn't find a
That's what I mean. They should do it. Someone should make a fashion week
yeah.
just for like streetwear brands.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. That would be cool. Have you ever thought about starting your own brand?
Yes, I have, but my knowledge on business is
Really?
0.
Have you got some good ideas though?
Yeah, well, I think it's good. I don't want to tell you too much because like everyone's gonna see this.
What would you plan actually on starting it?
Eventually, yeah, like once I've kind of got like a bit more of a foot in the door, more contacts with a clothing brand.
Yeah.
I want to make tracksuits.
Okay.
I feel like there's not that many good tracksuits out there.
Yeah. You reckon you can take over the game? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Is that women's or men's?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like a kind of, I guess, unisex fit, like a baggy kind of basketball tracksuit
Yeah.
vibe. I'm telling you everything now.
Yeah,
Might
I
as well
know.
tell
We'll
you.
stop talking and then it'll be a surprise. Right.
But yeah, once I've got like a better idea of how to do it, contacts, the brand strategy and all of that. Right now, it's just like that's my idea, and then making it real is like
Yeah. To be honest,
happens
like
when it happens, kind of thing.
yeah, take your time because when you do it, you're gonna have like a lot of people that's already involved in the fashion world support.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no need to rush because
Yeah,
you already
yeah.
know you've got the reach. Just like
Yeah.
get everything perfect.
Exactly.
Perfect. Right. Trying to think of the best ones because we've only got 10 minutes. What current fashion trends are you most excited about, and are there any trends that you think people should avoid?
Okay, so I think currently I'm excited about this trend. I have this idea that's going to come in, and it's already coming in really. So I'm half Palestinian.
Okay.
So to see people wearing those scarves and like, there's a lot of clothes that I'm seeing with like Arabic writing and like the watermelon and everything. So the watermelon is like a sign of resistance for the Palestinians.
Right.
So I feel like that is coming up
Yeah.
and that's going to open up like a whole like thing of dressing to resist against like politics and stuff.
Okay.
If you see what I mean.
Yeah. Like subtly
Yeah.
just like have it involved in
Yeah,
their outfits.
like yeah, like supporting the suppressed people basically. Because I think like the world is definitely waking up to that. So, and I've also like, I think people are kind of moving towards more simple clothing rather than like brands and names and monogram and all of that stuff. So that combined with like a bit of like Arabic writing or a bit of like the Palestinian pattern, I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
And I also think quite a generic answer, I guess, but just move away from fast fashion because there's nothing more I hate than having clothes that everyone has.
Oh, that's such like a stylist word, isn't it? Because I'd never heard of that. And I said to my brother, I said something about ASOS, and he was like, yeah, I don't have ASOS anymore. I was like, why? Right, firstly, why are you saying that? Like, I don't have ASOS anymore.
Yeah.
Like, bro, it's not I mean. It's like when people say they don't have Snapchat because they think they're like too grown up for it. And I was like, why? And he was like, oh, I don't like that fast fashion.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means. I've never heard of it before.
Fast fashion is like basically picture people in sweatshops getting 50p an hour to make hundreds and hundreds of clothes that people wear once and then they're such shit quality that they end up in a landfill.
Right,
like after 2 or 3 wears. ASOS is all right because they actually have like
Is it more like companies like Shein?
It's like Shein, Pretty Little Thing, like all of those companies where people are suffering making those clothes and we're also ruining the planet by wearing them and everyone looks the same.
Yeah, for like what, 2 wears?
Yeah.
And then,
so I think like you get so much more value out of your wardrobe when you spend a little bit more. It doesn't even have to be like £100 for a top. Like just a bit more sensible with like what you're buying. Like people are doing hauls, Shein hauls for like hundreds and hundreds of pounds for piles of clothes, and then they try it on and then that's it.
Yeah.
So that trend for me, I'm like, nah.
Yeah, that's
I don't
true.
want to see that.
I thought fast fashion was something completely different. I'm not gonna lie.
What
I
did you
thought it was
think?
like trends that come in for like a month and then go
No,
obviously like
yeah.
fast, isn't like
Yeah,
quick
yeah.
moving. But yeah, fair.
Yeah.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And what about okay, you said trends to avoid like fast fashion.
Yeah.
What other ones? Or is it just that?
Do you know what I hate is that shoe that looks like the cow toe. Do you know the one?
Oh, well,
It's got,
yeah,
like, a
that's true.
slit in
Yeah.
it.
The Nike have them, don't they?
Like,
And it goes like
it's
down the
caught,
big toe.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
caught
yeah.
on with a lot of like brands and stuff, and it's normally like a leather boot, and then it goes down. But I guess if Nike are
Oh,
doing it as
Nike,
well,
nah, Nike done like a sandal one.
yeah. So for
Recently.
me, you know, I respect it if you like it and everything, but I personally will not be buying those shoes.
Yeah, that you're right. Actually,
Yeah.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh man,
But
they
I
look
noticed
so weird.
actually, I was in Japan like a few months ago. A lot of they're like working shoes for the Japanese people.
Really?
Yeah, like a lot of like
I wonder why.
yeah. I don't know. I think probably something to do with grip or whatever. But
Yeah.
like as in like in construction and like working like on highway maintenance things and stuff, they all wear those, and I was like, oh my god. But
Wow.
we obviously got that from them because I
Yeah.
think it's a traditional thing for them.
Yeah. Well, it's everything like work related ends up being like fashion. Even with like cargos. Like cargos were originally
Yeah,
for
yeah.
builders so they could put their tools in.
Yeah.
And then it just switched over to fashion.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. That is, yeah, it's weird, isn't it? And things come back all the time as well. Like I'm seeing people in flares. That's been like last like 2 years or so.
Yeah.
But flares was like, I remember when I used to wear flares. Like again, like 2 years ago, my mum was like, I used to wear that when I was a kid.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
things come. Okay, cool. That's another question then. What do you think? Like, I don't know. I suppose it's probably about like 30, 40 years like behind. Like, what do you think is going to be coming into fashion again soon?
Okay, so that's like the 90s, right? 80s
I don't know.
or
What do you?
90s.
I reckon we're about 30 years.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, the stuff that my mum was wearing at my age is like the stuff I would wear today.
yeah.
That's like, yeah, 30 years.
That's why. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah, 30 years. That's like, yeah, like 1990, maybe a bit before.
80s, 90s. I mean, that was like the kind of punk rock thing. I don't think that will come back, to be honest.
Well, I don't know. You see a lot of goths.
Yeah.
I hope not.
I feel
hope it
like,
doesn't come
you know,
back.
I don't remember what their name is, but those Japanese girls, like, that is a thing at the moment.
Japanese girls.
You know, like the Japanese girls that wear like really short skirts and big hair and colourful hair.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen that as well. But yeah, I think like in terms of trends, you think about, so I learned this from someone, every action has a reaction in fashion. So if it's like war, political, the reaction is like hippie in fashion.
Oh, okay.
Like the
Okay.
opposing.
So yeah, it's every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
Yeah, so with the
I swear that's a science term, isn't it?
yeah.
That is definitely a science term. Yeah, right. Okay.
But yeah, so with one of the wars in the 60s, I can't remember which one it was,
No,
but
just carry on.
the reaction was flower power.
Okay.
And with the political unrest in England, like everyone was really pissed off with the politics going on in like the 80s or 90s. That was the punk rock era, the grunge era. So yeah, that's how like trend prediction works. I'd need to sit and think about it properly and do research for that. But that gives you like the bones.
And to be honest, like obviously with everything going in the world at the moment, it would make sense if something like that came back around.
Yeah, and that's why I think, like I was talking about the Palestinian kind of influences. I think that's why I think that is going to be a big thing.
Right.
Whether it's like Arabic writing or, you know, Sudan's going through a lot at the moment, the Congo, like there's a lot of especially in Africa, in that area, like I think African culture is gonna be a big like influential thing soon, and it already is. Music like Afrobeats, everyone loves it. Yeah,
That makes sense. Can you speak Arabic?
a little bit. Yeah,
Can you read it?
I can read it, but I could like.
Okay. I've got Arabic too.
Do you?
If you know what I mean. I'm putting you to the test now.
Oh God, I might not know what it means though. Like I can
Okay,
read, I can make the sounds, and it's also been a while since I read Arabic. So that's El Hajja.
I don't know.
Oh,
I know what
okay.
it means in English.
Oh,
But
okay. What does it mean in English?
it means continuous success.
Oh, okay.
but
I
I
wouldn't
see-
know what that means in
Oh, okay.
Arabic.
Yeah. So because obviously I say like I do door to door, and I speak to a lot of Sudanese
Yeah.
and people from. I can't. So I met someone today, and they were from East Africa, and they spoke Arabic. And
Somalia,
no, it was the country next to Ethiopia.
Eritrea.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. And I'd never heard of it. And I was
Yeah.
speaking to them, and they understood the tattoo straight away.
Yeah.
It's always like a conversation
Nice.
starter.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
yeah. All right, man. Have you got anything else you want to mention? Any other shout outs? Obviously,
No.
shout out your friend.
Yeah, Cara and Janelle, because
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do it without them
Yeah,
two.
the Three Musketeers.
Yeah, but that's it really. Thanks for
Perfect.
having me.
You're welcome. Yes, guys, that was a Suited View podcast. Thank you guys for watching. We just tied up with Hanya. The video is on the screen. Go and make sure you like, subscribe. Appreciate it, man.
Cool.
I've still
Get
got
to
one
bed.
more as well.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, last one.
Good luck with
fine.
that. Are you getting up early tomorrow as well?